Data Center 4.0, the future of the digital ecosystem. In this podcast series from DigitalCentre, data center leader, expert and APAC-based marketeer Omer Wilson will be in conversation with technology and industry experts on the future of the data center and the wider ecosystem. Today's tech-fueled transformation era is putting traditional data centers under unprecedented pressure. This pressure is coming from businesses, users, and consumers from every physical, virtual, and cloud-centric angle. What does the future hold for the data center? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next installment of the DigitalCentre podcast. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you are keeping safe and well wherever in the world you are joining us from. We've got another great lineup for you today. A key member of the DigitalCentre steering committee and a good friend and someone who has been on the podcast a few times in the past, joining us live from India, Narendra from RACBank. Narendra, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Omar? Thank you so much for connecting again here in this platform.
Likewise, Narendra, and just I'm sure all the listeners are aware of you, but Narendra Sen is the founder and CEO of RACBank data centers, of course, in India, currently experiencing a real boom in DC development as we're all following. So I think the timing is great, Narendra. Thanks for joining us. And if it's okay for you, I'll dive into the questions.
Absolutely. I'm ready for it.
Look forward to it. So we can make this a good discussion. Definitely want to hear from your experiences, joining us from the ground as we see it from afar. So let's start. What's the, if we take a high level view, what's the state of the data center industry in India as of 2021, would you say?
So it's a growing, fastest growing in APAC, Southeast Asia market, and total as we predicted earlier that in 2021 new players will come into the market, as India is a hot market, more than 700 million internet users, and this pandemic has really helped to realize that how critical is our digital industry, digital infrastructure to support and to make ease for them. So the market is growing with 70% year-on-year growth. It was predicted 24%, but after pandemic, it has really pushed a lot for us. A lot of demand is coming out. Total inventory is like close to 500 megawatt is already deployed. Out of that, under construction is the available inventory, and under construction is close to 120 megawatt. 400 megawatt is already announced, and it's planned, I can say that. And some around 60 to 80 megawatt is vacant in a few markets, not in tier one market. So overall, it's a close to more than a gigawatt. I must say that gigawatt. And in 2 to 3 years, we believe that this will be double. 3 to 4 gigawatt. India would be a market in 5 years down the line.
Wow, huge.
Yeah, huge. Yes.
And just on that one, Narendra, in terms of the size, what's your feel on the spread of that IT load? Is it still sort of the locations where we're expecting, so Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, or is there other? Do you think that's going to be other locations as well becoming key centers?
Yeah, so I think Mumbai Mumbai was always the market, Mumbai and Chennai, because of the obvious reason of cable landing station. But Hyderabad has moved forward, and because of the large hyperscale customer announced last year, and they started building it. Then another hyperscale customers joined the party. I must say that they also think to build their own DC in that market. So I believe Hyderabad is going to be number one. soon. And Delhi is also started growing because of the government cloud requirement, and government cloud will be pushed from Delhi. So I think Delhi will grow. Bangalore is the enterprise market, always the enterprise market, and it will further grow with speed. Chennai might not grow for after a point, but I think new location emerges Hyderabad. Pune is another location which is friendly for a few customers. So customer has decided they have existing region. They are keep expanding that region, and we are talking about big five only. Rest enterprise and other Indian customers, their focus is near to their office, which is like Mumbai and Chennai, and Bangalore. But Hyderabad and Pune is going, and Delhi, Noida is going for the large customers. Then tier two locations will also take like it will come up, but not for a centralized data center. It will be for edge data center. So because of 5G rollout, and that will help 5G rollout, and also OTT players, because the content, OTT players in India, they got a huge millions of users, but they are not able to watch in 4K quality. So the edge data center is going to be required for latency intensive work, and for OTT, and for local ISP. So edge is going to be tier two locations is going to be in the mainframe, but it will be a small facility of less than 100 racks.
Understood. Interesting developments, especially on the different sizes as well, and the spread. So that gives us a really good view of today. Sort of tied to that, I guess, Narendra, how's the pandemic affecting the industry there? And how are companies, including yourselves as RackBank, responding to the changes induced by the pandemic within India, but across the whole world, really? How's it affecting the industry?
So I think our industry's majority investment is in mechanical and electrical, and construction. So all the three way it got affected. One is labor side. When pandemic hit India, the labor shortage, they went back to their home, and because in India, the construction workers travels one location to another location for work. So that's one initial challenge we have seen, and now I think that's one challenge. Second is supply chain. Supply chain is a big challenge. As I mentioned, mechanical electrical cost is high, and some of the equipment is not manufactured in India. But the best part is in Indian, out of majority of equipment are manufactured in India, but some of outside India. So international shipment got stuck because of pandemic. A lot of delay happened because of other shipment got blocked, which is and government has prioritized the medical emergency equipment and deprioritized the other commercial activities. So that got stuck, and due to that, a lot of cost inflation, 10%, 15% increased in data center construction. So that's we have faced challenge on the delivery timeline. It got pushed to 2 to 4 months, and also on the cost side, 10 to 15%. So these are the major challenge we have seen. But the best part is in India, majority of our vendors have manufacturing units in India. So in terms of data center, like India is 80%, 90% self-sufficient country where the production is happening. So that's another good thing we have here in India. Pandemic give a lot of learning too, that we should, the manufacturing which is not happening in India, we should bring it to India. And few of our vendors, they already initiated that process, and they are shifting or making one more unit, manufacturing unit in India to supply this big demand.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think that's not too dissimilar to, what we're seeing, obviously in other parts of Asia and the world in terms of the substantial increased demand. It's a regular topic now on these podcasts as well as we speak to, the internet exchanges and the different parts of the ecosystem. So really, really good to see. So, what would you say are the some of the biggest challenges, but also biggest opportunities now for the industry? Because we keep on reading, the news and the developments that are happening, obviously with Digital Realty now at Brookfield and the BAM JV, your own growth and the other developments. What do you see as some of the big opportunities driving this growth this year? And what's coming up?
So I think yes, this gives a confidence to this market. DRD is now in India, so investors and customers got confidence that market is developed and ready to serve. So we should go and look that market. The capital is available for new players, data centers, and investors are now ready. Earlier, they have seen India as a risk market to deploy capital. But I think this big announcement is helping India to bring more investment in India. So that's a good thing happen, I believe. And many more platforms, like a lot of platforms announced 2021 beginning last 4-5 months, we have seen a lot of announcement. And that give confidence to the market. That market is huge. As I mentioned, this market is going to grow 5 gigawatt because we have not seen a lot of potential like 700 million people. It will be 1 billion people in another 5 to 7 years online, and this will drive a lot of demand. And government digitalization program, which will drive the more demand. Government itself will consume more than a gigawatt. That's my assumption in another 10 years. And because a lot of programs like payment gateway program, NPCI, you see the toll. India doesn't had earlier that toll, tags. Now it is already implemented across India. Government has strengthened the connectivity to the last mile users. They have rolled out another $8 to $10 billion package, which will enable the connectivity in the rural India. Google and Facebook has, participate to getting people online through railway station, 4,500 railway station now connected. So, and Jio has revolutionized the Indian internet industry, reducing the cost and increasing the connectivity, and the 5G rollout is on the way. So giving this all the mix, I believe that India will have a huge demand. On top of it, data protection, which we are talking from last 2 years. I believe this year's government will take action on that. And after the announcement, what happened with Europe, I think demand has grown. So similarly happened in India, because large social media companies and large players are not in India. They have capacity, but only 5%, 8%. These guys has to set up their shops in India, and this will drive further demand. That's why 5 gigawatt. It seems big number, but I think after data protection law, they have it will be small, because these guys has to come to India. And all kind of like big operators, enterprise operators, and cable companies are actively looking in India to invest. Apart from that, solar sustainability side, now data center operator has taken the leap, taken actions and utilizing the solar energy for running their data centers, and that's a good thing happened because it's pushed from top. So sustainability is a key. And data centers, one side we are digitalizing the world, but another side our energy or our cloud is not clean, so we have to adopt it. So RegBank did one announcement last month with Renew Power, and all of our data centers will be operated on 100% clean energy from day one. So,
incredible. Big move.
yeah.
Big move. Wow, very cool. Especially from day one to approach that in that manner, Narendra, is going to be big for India as well. So that's a big statement to the market. I just want to go back to something you said, because I think the listeners will find it interesting, because I certainly hadn't heard of that initiative, but the railway stations connectivity piece and internet. Could you give a bit more detail of how that project's working? That seems really interesting, because obviously the railway is one of the, I think it's the world's largest employer, right, of people as well. It's a massive railway infrastructure across India, but it's I guess it's using the railway stations as internet provider locations, or how's it working?
So railway station, what Facebook and Google and big brand ask government that the internet connectivity enabled on the railway stations across India. So they call it rail wire, so Wi-Fi by Railtel, and Google has contributed to connect those railway stations. So Sundar has announced in his one of the speech about this initiative. So in India, total there are close to 5 to 6,000 railway stations. Out of that, Google has taken some of the part of it. More than 1,600 railway stations they have connected online. Like millions of people travel daily through this railway connectivity, and they got access free internet. So that's big step to empower citizen.
Incredible, really incredible. Quite poetic, I think, right? If you think about the railway connecting India for industrial growth and now connecting it for internet access for people, that's really quite amazing. So very interesting to hear. Great. So moving forward, in the interest of time, I know always with you, Narendra, we could speak for an hour, but we're going to try and keep it to our usual 20-25 minutes if we can, or 30 minutes. So two questions I'm going to sort of combine into one a little bit to allow you to expand on. One is, what do you see as coming next? You talked about a lot of the developments, but what are the big trends now driving the industry? And tied to that, I guess, what are some of the exciting new projects for RapBank that you can share with the listeners?
Absolutely. So I think education, this pandemic helped a lot of industries to digitalize, but education is the biggest one. And so I'm happy and happy to be in this industry to empower and ease the end user's life, our citizens' life. That one of the case study I got to know that in village near to it's my village, where the student is taking Harvard classes from remotest part of India to the greatest university of the world. So it is possible because of this pandemic. And more than 200 million the students went online in span of 12 months time, because all the universities, all the schools, and India is a population like 70% population is below age of 25. So this adoption help and reduce the infrastructure, and wherever you are, you can read the same material. In fact, the entire books, government open source those books. It used to be print earlier, but now you can access through ebooks, and it's a free of cost. So entire library is open source. For you can just go. You don't need to buy the books now. You don't need to waste paper. So this is a big transformation. And second, on the e-medical health, and this pandemic, entire India was shut for 6 months, 8 months. Then what happened that the government initiated the e-medical health lines, and every state government has started this. And in that time, Now you can got, telephony consulting free of cost. Doctors are coming on the call online. You are taking the appointment. On the vaccination side, the entire vaccination drive happened through the online system, which is developed by the government, and government eventually open source that system for the world. And a lot of nearby countries has adopted that system. So India technology stake is really changing the life, empowering not only in India, all the developed nations. So these are the change. From the RegBank perspective, RegBank see the real growth in tier 2 market as well because of the 5G rollout or satellite connectivity. We are going to launch 100 location edge data centers in another, say, 1 month. This will be announced. Already we have partners pipeline the locations, and we already started work on it. So through this podcast, I'm giving out this news about our edge data center. That's the initiative. Hyperscale, and we have changed our strategy too. Earlier we were focusing on the colo, but now we enter into the BTS lease format as well. Like we become a developer. So we should have all the tools which will help our end customers to grow fast in this fast changing market. We also did this partnership with Renew. I already this 500 megawatt of solar clean energy for RegBank data center platform. So these are the few initiatives, and on top of it, we started R&D in RegBank Indore facility, where we are working on the future technologies like liquid cooling and some of the open compute server hardware manufacturing. So some of the product are going to be live, will roll out in another 1 quarter.
Amazing. Yeah, I think continued growth for RegBank clearly is the message, and very, very exciting. And obviously for the listeners, Narendra and RegBank team's details are on the DigitalCentre page, and also alongside this recording, if you want to reach out with any request for more information on their portfolio in India, please do so. So I think, Narendra, we're moving towards the final question now, and let's look forward, maybe like post this year into 2022 and beyond. Where do you think the industry is going, and how different do you think it will look in a year or more in India, but also maybe wider afield in Asia and perhaps the rest of the world, both in terms of some of the trends around maybe sustainability and where data centers are built? Where do you think this is going?
So, yeah, I'm very optimistic on the fact that Indians will help our industry. There's a huge shortage of talent for our industry. So I think that can be fulfilled by Indians. Number one. Number two, on the manufacturing side, supply side, I think all of the big players, our vendors, has started manufacturing in India. So India will be supplying to the major nations for data center supply. Third, this will happen in another 2 years, I believe. And third, India will set benchmark for the world to go 100% clean on data centers. So not only RegBank, but I believe that all of operators who is based in India will adopt this. And there's a lot of advantage to adopt clean energy in India. It's not expensive. It is reducing cost by 30-40%. So this is really value add-on for our customers and for the industry and for growth, for sustainability growth. And these are the three major factors, I believe. This will grow in multiple fold. Data center industry, as I mentioned, long shot, 5 gigawatt in 10 years. In 5 years, I believe that it will be doubled because the growth will be gradually. Because customers all depend on the customer. Our industry is driven by the customers. The customers has changed the gears too in India. They are going to do the build versus buy analysis. They will do their own build out as well. And they are also changing some formula for India. So I believe that customer itself will build 2 to 3 gigawatt in another 5 years. And and edge location will be rolled out. 5G will be announced by next year. And the satellite connectivity, but because now two players in the India market, one is SpaceX, Starlink, and another one is OneWeb. These are the two players eyeing on India market. It's a huge market, and government has a large fund for that connectivity piece. So I think these two players will be entered into India market, and they will definitely need the ground station, and the ground station will be our DC, edge data centers. So this will happen in another 2 years. So these are the predictions, and new players will definitely come to India. But I believe that and on top of it, from Chennai and from Mumbai, we can serve Middle East, and from Chennai we can serve Southeast Asia too. That's also another possibility.
Got it. And those, I guess, those are the markets that obviously have that connectivity in the submarine cables, right, coming in to the coast and going out across the Indian Ocean to the rest of Southeast Asia. So I think that they're going to be interesting markets.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, we've covered a lot of content as always, Narendra. Anything else you wanted to add on the industry, RackBank, or anything you'd like to say to the listeners if they want to get in touch to learn more?
Yeah, I think data center is a great industry which is empowering the world, this industry is growing faster. A lot of new innovations is coming. Sustainability side innovation is coming. Storage is a big challenge for the industry. How we can utilize the seawater to store the energy. These kind of innovations we need to support. We have to come on board on our platform, any platform, and contribute and give back to the community, give back to the data center industry. Whatever the learnings you you should contribute. Then this industry will grow. Another point is like rental rates, which we have not discussed, but this is earlier it was high, but India will have a lowest rental rate in the world. Because the building a data center cost is also lower down. So it's like starting from $75 to $150, high side, low side $75.
Excellent. Well, Narendra, always so good to hear your voice and hear RackBank doing so well. Please don't be a stranger. We'll definitely want you to come back maybe toward the back end of the year just to let us know how things are developing for you and the rest of the team, if that's good.
Yeah,
towards
absolutely.
Christmas. Great stuff. Well, thanks, Narendra. We've been speaking with Narendra Shen from RackBank, the exciting data center operator from India. Just leaves for me to say thank you, everybody, again for joining in, taking the time to listen. I hope you're all staying safe, staying well, and most importantly, staying happy wherever in the world you're joining and listening from. Please keep an eye out for future recordings and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.